Well, hello again, world, and welcome right back into my garden. So, it has been a week since I transplanted these tomato suckers into what I am referring to as my mini shade house. So, on the day I transplanted these tomato suckers, I also sow some seed. So, most of them have emerged. And since then, I have transplanted the beets I had in the container in the front yard into the garden as well. Um, so what I did was I stuck my head on the inside so that you can get a good view of what is happening in here. So these are the beets that have been transplanted. Nobody have died, and I know exactly why, because they are not exposed to direct sunlight. They are getting sun because the sun is coming down through the top. Because what I did was I use, that piece of silky fabric them used to cover wedding cakes. Yes. So I had a piece that I used for a wedding in December. Is it I take out and use it? But whatever will make my garden grow will be utilized. So yes, these are my zinnias have come up. hmm I have not yet seen the snapdragons. The zinnias have come up. My dills have emerged. Can you see them? This angle is bad. Let me go from another angle so you can see my dills. All right, so this is a better angle. Those are the dills. The dills have emerged. Yes. So I have dills, zinnias, and the bachelor buttons are up, y'all. The bachelor buttons are up. So everything inside of this little shade house is doing superb. I am grateful non-stop. Um, Leaf miner on the tomatoes like crazy. Let me take off those. Oh Lord, leaf miners like crazy, man. Leaf miners, leaf miners. Ooh, yes. So I'll have dill to transplant all over my garden now. Dill is one of the fantastic companion plants. It attracts pollinators to those plants you want to be pollinated, and it also attracts some of those, what do I call it now, beneficial insects, those predatory insects that will help to kill some of those creatures that live in your garden, yes, and decide to destroy everything that's in your garden. Oh, this is bad. Yeah. So this is what is happening in the little mini shade house in the middle of my garden. I'm telling you, I'm telling you. So that is my second round of beet, and I have a set of beet that is growing in the triangular grow bed. Yeah. So let me show you what has happened with those carrots, because some of them have come up. So these are they that have come up. Now that they have green tops, I realize it's not as sparse as I thought it was. But I'm going to have to be thinning quite heavily, because the bulk of them come up in the same place. Well, I seeded heavily. So I am going to assume that over this section that don't have any, right over that section that don't have any germination, that the ant ate those seeds, because that's where I saw a concentration of ant the other day when I opened the container. So apparently these germinated, and whatever was over there so was consumed. So I'm going to be sowing again another set of carrots in a container, in one of those black containers. Um, these are the onions. This is fabulous germination of onion, I'm telling you. Fabulous. I just transplanted out some onions this morning too that I had around the front. Yeah. So I just transplanted those. Um, the most of these will have to be transplanted because this container can't grow so many onions. But I don't have to thin my beets at all, and the beets are looking good. So I transplanted some stuff in here. Don't know what any of them name is, from the spicy salad mix package. And alas, I don't know why this one is falling down. Probably one of those unicorn. Unicorn. You see those unicorn snails? Them horrible. You hear people? Don't take them lightly. They are crazy terrible. And them eat down your minor seedlings. Them when they once your plant get big, they are no threat. But them they like to eat your seedlings. Yeah. Oh, and onion got away in this bed and I'm not even going to take it out. I'm going to leave it right in there. So I planted some scallions from scallion that I bought. So that's why I have two bins in the garden. And here's why, I introduced the scallions in the garden as you have now seen them. So let me turn it around so you can see my face for a spell or two. I learned that scallion, I am ever inquiring. If you stick around long enough, you'll realize that I am always on the hunt for suggestion or information that can help me to grow a better garden without the aid of synthetic or chemical fertilizers or insecticides or pesticides. So a friend of mine sent me a video, and in that video it stated that scallions, when chopped up and left to soak in water overnight and sprayed in your garden, deters slugs. Now, if you have been here long enough, you'd have realized that slugs have been one of my arch nemesis. They torment and torture my garden. I have been on the hunt, slug hunt, for the past 3 nights, and I have killed, believe it or not, over 40 slugs within that time frame. All right, and I know that there are many that has escaped. So last night I decided, okay, let me try it. So on my way home from work, I purchased the scallion because I had none at home, and I planted a half of what I bought, and I put a half of what was left into a 5-gallon bucket of water. I didn't chop it up like they suggested. I rubbed it. I mean, when I say I rubbed that scallion, I rubbed it until it became literally strings. So by the time I was done rubbing that scallion out in that water, the entire garden was infused with the scallion odor. However, I took some out as was suggested. So I used a half of it last night to spray the entire garden. So when I was leaving the garden last night after 8, you would believe that somebody was up here seasoning up some serious chicken or pork. The amount of scallion odor that was in the garden. So I came up this morning, not as early as I would have because I said I'm going to get the longest possible time to come up here. And when I came up here this month, it was about 10 past 6 or 15 past 6, somewhere within that region. I began to look around because I take a good note of what I did in the night watch and what is new in the mornings. So when I came up this morning, I realized that the slug activity for last night was actually non-existent. My word. So I have another batch left. So I'm going to be utilizing this tonight, and I have more scallion. So I'm going to be dividing that down into two and doing the same thing. Only I won't need to use it tonight because I'd have had tomates already prepared. So what I am setting up, what I will be setting up tonight will be for use on Sunday and on Monday. So now I am going to ensure that my garden is never out of scallions. So what I have planted is a start. I am going to be buying some more on tomorrow. And that which I buy tomorrow, I'm going to be doing the same thing. I'm going to be planting out a half of it, and then I'm going to be leaving the other half for pest control measures, or should I say slug control measures. Yes, people, that's where I'm at right now. It is kind of hard when you have invested so much into growing your food to have insects really eating it down. And like I said, for me, it has always been a no-no when it comes on to utilizing all of these chemicals that nobody can tell you how long the residual actions are and how they can impact you as a your physical being. So I prefer not to. And then I grew up in a household where when my mother was growing plant, she never ever sprayed them with anything except she made it. So the dish soap with the garlic. Mm-hmm. She sprinkled the ashes. Yeah. That kind of a stuff. That's what I grew up and saw. She make the pepper water and she spray. That is what I grew up and see. And the fact of the matter is, the only thing that would happen if you take off a tomato off the tree that was just sprayed with the pepper water and you never wash it, it would burn your mouth. But that's it. And you know it's pepper she spray and there, so nobody not really have an issue. So that's kind of where I want to take my garden. I don't want to go into the chemical. Before all of these chemical factories were made, people grew food. So we don't have to go down that route. We can revert to what was the method before. And then you never have so many people having cancers and so many debilitating disease that nobody can tell where them come from. It's almost as though them just pop and jump out of the atmosphere and attack your person. No. So as long as I am growing food, I'm going to look for what is the more holistic method of treating any pests condition that exists in my garden, any infestation problem that I have. If I have fungal issues, I'm not going to reach for any chemical. It's either uproot the plant and dispose of it, or I go read because people believe it or not. Whereas one time you'd have to go to the library or get an encyclopedia. You can't ask Mr. Google Pants anything, and Mr. Google Pants will tell you. Is everything that is on Google factual? No. But listen, through all our life, we go through with trial and error. So if you don't want to whole scale do something in your garden, single out a plant that you think you can sacrifice and try on that plant. That is why we are always encouraged when we grow food to grow more than you need, so that if you have to lose one or two, you will not be devastated. This is why we always have to plant in succession as well. Because guess what? In case something die, you have something else to replace it. So for me, I have round two of my tomatoes already coming. And in another week time, I'm going to be sowing another set of tomato. So I tend to give them 3 weeks after I have transplanted my transplant to sow another set of seed. And my transplants always go in once I have trees that are fruiting. So that by the time these trees are through with fruiting, you have something to replace it. Or once the production slow down, you know, if you begin to scratch your head and say, what me I go do now? What me I go do? You'd have had something that is already in the making. I have sweet pepper to replace these sweet peppers already that are here. And these have begun to fruit now. Some fruited already while others are just fruiting. And I have the replacements already. So when these go out, I have sweet pepper that are, some are ready for transplanting into bigger containers, while others still have not put on true leaf. But you have the replacement. And this is how we have to grow. When we grow on a small scale like we do, because we are backyard farmers, then we can't, because we don't have acres and acres of the same produce going, which really is not the best way to grow food anyway, because we realize that when these farmers suffer any invasion from any pest, that their entire farms are wiped out because them growing in a monoculture. And of a truth, we're supposed to be growing food in a polyculture. So you see, I have my tomatoes here and I have beans growing beside my tomatoes. The beans are beneficial to the tomatoes. Why? The beans set nitrogen in the soil. The tomatoes like a lot of nitrogen. So they have to feed my tomatoes a lot of nitrogen. So it is good for us to learn. And because this is a polyculture, the plants benefit from each other. And when you have that kind of a symbiotic relationship between your plants going, you tend to find that you grow very good gardens. extremely good gardens. So folks, I have to get back to work because there's a lot to do on this Saturday morning. Until we meet again, this is Anne saying thank you to all my subscribers, old and new. Reminding you, if you are here and you have not yet subscribed, please to do so. You will help my channel to grow. Also, leave a comment. Press that thumbs up button. Share the videos. And press that notification bell so that you can be made notified each time a new video is uploaded. Until we meet again, right here in this garden. This is Anne saying have a blessed day. Jagai.